So the Demon Slayer World Tour, aka the new quote-unquote movie, or let's go with the new theatrical experience for Demon Slayer, because that is basically what it is in a nutshell. That Demon Slayer is in movie theaters now, but essentially it isn't a movie, which, I mean, let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it straight up and down. It is what it is. If it's a duck, then by golly, it's a squirrel. No, it's a duck indeed, because Demon Slayer, yeah, it's not a movie. And on top of that, the world tour experience was lacking. I must go. The time is now. I must go. It's time to get out. Essentially, the reason I'm even talking about this right now, because I know probably people are like, yo, dog, wasn't the Demon Slayer World Tour been out for a week? You just now getting to this? What happened, dog? You're not into Demon Slayer? What's going on here, fam? Well, no, that's not the case at all. I was actually going day one. I had my family ready, dog. I got my tickets ready. There wasn't the best seats in the house, mind you, that time. It was basically like, yo, we was damn near in the front. Yo, it was like maybe 3-4 rows removed from the screen. So it was bad seats, so it wasn't ideal by any means, but nevertheless, I had my family ready to rock and roll. It's like, boom, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna go see the Demon Slayer movie. I got my kiddos with me. I bought the tickets. You know, I'm even recording footage of like, yo, our excitement, and asking my kiddos like what they expect from it, what they think of it. Again, they were all, and we was all fully aware that it wasn't a new movie. It was basically the last 2 episodes of season 2 and the first episode of season 3, the Swordsmith Village arc. I get to the theater. I got my kiddos. We're ready to go. My daughter has her Nezuko plushie ready to rock. My daughter's a big Demon Slayer fan. That's the first anime that my daughter ever showed like super interest in. It's Demon Slayer. So that even makes me more excited. Like, yo, you know what I'm saying? If there's anything Demon Slayer related in theaters or anywhere, I need to take my daughter, because that's her first anime. So we get to the theater, get on the line, we go and pay for the I already ordered the tickets off of, like, I don't know, one of those sites. Get to the counter, order popcorn, candy, sodas, everything for my kids, yo. I'm like, let's go, we about to turn up, baby. This is gonna be one for the books. Let's do it. And then after paying for all of this, the lady looks at me and says, excuse me, how old is your daughter? And I'm like, 5, why? And she's like, oh, well, we have a policy that after 6 p.m., if it's a rated R film, kids can't come in. And I'm there like, huh? What? Nani? Like, what the hell is going on here, fam? What are you talking about? Honestly, I just kind of was taken by surprise, and I already knew this woman is determined. She ain't letting us in. I could tell from her vibe and all that stuff. And I was like, I'm not even gonna argue it. I'm not gonna turn up. I'm not gonna do none of that. It's not only is it not worth it, it's just not me to do stuff like that anymore anyways, to be just bugging the hell out, screaming, you know, over a movie at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? And woman's doing her job, you know what I mean? Like, after a little back and forth of like, yo, but what do you mean? Like, cause she basically says like, hey, the little girl can't come in. And I'm like, so what are you trying to say? I'm supposed to leave my daughter out here? Like, what do you mean, dog? If she can't come in, obviously none of us are going in. And I'm like, all right, let me get a refund. And initially I was trying to go online to see if I could get the ticket refund online, because I figured at the theater they're not going to give me my entire refund. They're not going to do it. And I was right about that. But online, then they screwed me over as well and said, sorry, you can't refund it. The movie already started. Too bad. And I'm like, wow. So then now I have no choice but to get the refund here from the theater, which I knew, again, they gave me like $10 less than what I paid for. And I think the woman recognized that, yo, dog, you paid like $45 for these tickets. We're giving them like $34 back. And she's like, hey, how about you take one of those candies on me? On one end, like, hey, you know, candy to keep my daughter up. Yeah, that's what I really need right now. But on the other end, I'm like, I'm trying to be understanding, because at the end of the day, again, it's her job. I don't want to just bug out for no reason and just be all crazy mad. Like, I was upset about the situation. I wasn't upset about the woman herself doing what she did, because it's her job, you know what I'm saying? She could get fired if something, you know, let's just say we get caught, she was on the job, you know, if that's a policy, which it is, I looked it up, it's a policy there. She just was doing what she had to do. So on launch, we couldn't go see Demon Slayer. We basically couldn't. And again, I'm making it like, oh, boo hoo, but really it ain't about me. I ain't really care about it all like that. It's more about my kids. It was really just like, yo, dog, my kiddos was mad excited for this, my daughter, and to have to turn around and go back home when we just was all gearing up for this, it was very, very disappointing. It was disappointing for my kids, it was disappointing for me, and I didn't really vibe with it very well. But anyway, okay, so boom, it didn't happen, we didn't do it. So every day I'm like, yo, dog, I want to check it out, speaking with my boys, I'm hearing some decent things online, though outside of my peoples. I'm hearing like it was a waste and all this stuff, so I'm kind of like in the middle of it. And I have this gift card of my refund, because that's the refund they gave me. They didn't give me an actual cash refund, they gave me a gift card. So I'm like, okay, you know, I already paid for it, I got money on here, I want to see this thing. So eventually I planned it with my kids. I'm like, okay, boom, we'll go on Friday, we'll go Friday morning, because there wasn't no school anyway, so it sounded perfect. Or Friday noon. After having a decent day and everything, we kind of went out to eat and all of that good stuff. You know, I just really like to do everything I can to give my kids a good memory and something really dope. So we finally get in there, we got everything is Gucci, we got through the doors, it was all okay, oh, you know what I'm saying, all hunky-dory, so to speak, to watch the Demon Slayer movie, the theatrical experience, whatever you want to call it. And I'm gonna keep it honest with you, and I know my guy Max ain't gonna like to hear this, but I totally felt to a certain degree like it was a waste of money. I'm gonna just keep it real. And I remember a lot of people, not a lot of people, but I remember like a couple of people telling me beforehand the first time around, like, yo, don't go see it, it's a waste, blah blah blah. And I was like, sheesh, but I really want to see it, so you know, I went, and dog, I'm not even gonna lie, for starters, I was at war. Dog, I'm telling you, just imagine like the movie 300 and people going, oh, running. That's the war that I was in. And you're probably asking yourself right now, what do you mean? Why was you at war? You was at a movie theater with your kids. What happened? I'm not even gonna lie, I had the fight of my life to stay awake. I'm not gonna lie, I embarrassed my kids because I was snoring up a storm, and there was about like maybe 10 people aside from us in the theater, and they was laughing, and it was just Fam, I don't know what it was. Well, I kind of know to a certain degree. It was a mix of a couple of things. Like, I think if you didn't see the last 2 episodes of Demon Slayer Season 2, would be great. It'll be a great experience. That's a very rare thing of like, how would somebody be a Demon Slayer fan and not have seen the last 2 episodes coincidentally of Demon Slayer, unless you like just got into it and watched everything up until those episodes, something like that. But I think it was a combination of, first of all, I was comfy. I ain't gonna lie, I was comfy as hell in that theater, and it was kind of cold too. But on top of that, I don't know what it was that I just was fighting so hard to stay awake in there, dog. I was fighting so bad. It was like, I think it was because I already had seen this. I'm comfortable. And here's the thing, because you're probably like, oh, that was just you, dog. It was just you. Me and like half of my kids as well were sleeping, dog. My daughter was snoring about 20 minutes into it, and that's that. They stood up watching like throughout the day a bunch of episodes so that they could be like caught up and stuff like that. My daughter was snoring about 20 minutes into it. One of my other nieces was fell asleep, I think before me. And then I ain't gonna lie, I was battling, dog. I would be like, yo, I want to talk about this, and I've been waiting to see this. I spent this money, but I'm so tired, bro. This is making me, oh my god. And a lot of that was mainly during the season 2 stuff, you know what I'm saying, the recap or the re-airing, so to speak, of that, because it started off kind of epic, I ain't gonna lie. You know, Suyoku Nareru, I was like, hey, let's go, okay. You know, the opening stuff, that recap aspect of it was dope. That was kind of a cool way to get it started, although I will say that I felt like they took a page out of a lot of YouTubers' books with this one. And what I mean by that is, back when they introduced the 10-minute mark on YouTube of, if you make your videos past 10 minutes, you could put more ads. And how I'm comparing this to is, I think in order to be in theaters, they had to meet a certain threshold. It had to be a certain length outside of Japan, because I think in Japan, like, you could put 40 minutes into a theater, but you know, outside of there, like in the US and stuff like that, I think, and in North America and other parts of the world, I think you need to meet a certain criteria to hit certain markets and whatnot. So I feel like, because like in between stuff, they're playing like the episode outros and all of this stuff, and I'm like, but what is this? So initially I'm thinking like, dog, there's too much money invested in this. There's no way that it's just a mishap or people not thinking or them being lazy. There's no laziness when it comes to something that's making $100 million on books alone. There's no laziness there by any means. It's more than likely that they had to meet, like, yo, we need an hour and X amount of time in order for this to go to theaters in, you know, in Wyoming in the United States. We need to hit that mark. And they were like, say no more, fam. And they studied a bunch of YouTubers from like 2016. We know how we're gonna do it, dog. We're gonna just put it wherever we can in there. Outros, everything, the ending, all of that stuff, so that we can meet that threshold. They were like, yo, even putting the credits for the English voice actors, dog. Y'all gonna get it all in order to meet that threshold, because there was a lot of unnecessary stuff in there. I'm gonna just keep it real. It was like, fam, I'm trying to watch this stuff. Like, yo, they could have easily cut it up into, it could have felt like a movie. At the very least, episodes, the final 2 episodes of season 2 could have felt like a movie. They could have cut it together very nicely and just make it flow seamlessly. Maybe there would have been a hiccup in between or something like that, but not what they did. So that was one of the things too. It's like, oh, this is drawn out for no damn reason, bro. Like, what's going on here? So very YouTube 2015, 2016-ish of, yo, you gotta extend the videos, and for many years, but that's where that started. So then I'm there like, geez Louise, you know? So that's one of the things. Another thing is, it just felt like, I don't know, maybe an unnecessary watch for me. Like, and there was times where I think it was from the manga, like, what was it? One of the dudes that handled the swords, that, like, he was a really minor character and he had like a good chunk of moments in there, and I'm like, why? Like, so I'm getting episodes I've already seen, which cool of an experience, but still it's not something that, like, you know, the suspense is gone. I've already seen this, I've read this, you know, I've already experienced this multiple times in multiple different mediums. There's no shocking wow factor for me to be like, yeah, let's fucking go. It's gone. That's gone. You know what I'm saying? The Swordsmith Village first episode itself, like, there was some hype stuff. Like, the biggest thing, because I've talked a lot of negativity, let's talk a little bit of positivity. The biggest really awesome thing that came out of this one was them hyping up the one demon with the multi eyes, with the long hair, with the, what are they called, the furudate earrings, you know, the same earrings that Tanjiro has, the flashbacks of Tanjiro's father speaking to Homie and all of that stuff. Like, that was really the stuff that I was like, this is freaking hype, let's go. Kanroji, the Hashira. Again, I fell asleep for some of the movie, so forgive me, I ain't gonna lie. There was times where I was just like, this is epic, but I'm tired. Really, the demons kind of held it down, now that I think about it. They were the crux of, like, okay, this is what's dope about getting this. But at the same time, honestly, if I'm just being very, very transparent, I feel like for the money you spend to go see this, it's not worth it. I would say that I could have easily, let me speak only for me, because some people, like my guy Max, he really enjoyed himself. I feel like it wasn't really worth the money, and I could have just waited till next month to check it out and then go along with it, because realistically, April 9th, when the release date is for this, I start off with this hour-long episode thingy-majig, and then I gotta wait another week anyways. So it's like, you got a sneak preview early on, but it ain't really, you know what I'm saying? And then you spend all this money, of course, especially me. I'm rolling deep with all my kiddos. Gotta buy a whole bunch of stuff and whatnot. And the fact that my kiddos fell asleep with me too. I was like, man, you know what I'm saying? You know, a couple of my kids watched, the ones that stood awake for it, I ain't gonna lie, my oldest niece, she was like, that was ass and not worth it. I'ma just keep it real. And again, that's their kids, that's their opinions. I just felt like it wasn't really worth it when it's not a movie. It was, you know, some re-aired episodes, a sneak preview, or a preview, early screening of the first episode of the season. And then with all the troubles that I personally went through to get to watch this damn movie, getting turned away the first time around, coming back again, fighting like the war of my life to stay awake throughout this movie, falling asleep chunks of times, like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was just a bad experience, and when the anime rolls around again, and I rewatched the episode and I'm fully awake for everything, my opinions on all of this probably will be vastly different. But in terms of my experience, that's really what I should just call it. My experience with the Demon Slayer World Tour was disappointing and a struggle, to say the least. I feel like if you're going for strictly, you want a really cool Demon Slayer experience in theaters, sure. If you're going for a movie, definitely that's disappointing. And granted, again, me and my kids were fully aware this is not a movie. this is a re-airing of 2 episodes and a preview of the next episode or of season 3. So we was fully aware of that, but still, it just didn't feel like it was worth it. I'm gonna just be honest with you. I was disappointed. I like seeing again the demons and stuff like that. Some of the stuff with Tanjiro was dope. Just seeing Tanjiro again after, you know, because we left off on some brutal shit. Dog got his fingers broken in the battle against Gyutaro and Daki. Like, you know, Tanjiro went through the ringer. So it was nice to see him again, healed up and stuff like that. I think some of the moments revisiting, seeing again, like in the flash scenes of like, oh, what happened to Rengoku? Oh, man, that was heartbreaking and stuff like that. So there was some cool stuff to it, but as an experience, it was disappointing. And in general, I just didn't feel like it was worth the money. Yeah, that was my experience with the Demon Slayer World Tour. I'm still going to watch the next upcoming season, of course. There's no question. And I know I'm going to enjoy it a lot more. I think maybe, personally, I wasn't meant to go to the theater to watch this shit. I think that was it. And on top of that, even since I went there, the lesson is next time maybe I should listen when, you know, the little voice up here is saying, there's gonna be something it's gonna be a miss, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Tim, just relax. Tim, just sit this one out. You watch it when it comes home. I think I should have listened. I love Hashira was pretty. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, dog. They definitely played up. And I forget sometimes, oh shit, anime do be going heavy with fan service, huh? Because when she was running towards Tanjiro and he's like, yo, your breasts are about to pop out, like, oh my god. I was like, first of all, Tanjiro, you're not supposed to say that, dog. The audience wants to see, you know what I'm saying? I forget anime be having crazy fan service, bro. Mitsuri Kanroji, yes. I really wanted to enjoy it. I ain't gonna lie. Obviously, I went with all my kids, but just, you know, half of us were sleeping. My daughter was asleep 20 minutes into it. I embarrassed my kiddos because people were laughing and turning around because on the quiet scenes, I was snoring my mind off, like... And it's like, damn, if that don't say everything about how I felt. Lights be flashing and looking at me, such a odd unique, yet I'm so unique and you're looking at me. If the walls could talk, they would probably read bleak, and I'd probably say, bitch, get the fuck off me.